This is Mega Mojo, and you're Mega listening and Mega watching the Final Count podcast. Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, it is pro wrestling's giant personality, the height of independent wrestling, Mr. Larger Than Life, big time Ethan Higher, and you're watching the Final Count podcast.
This is former WWE and TNA Impact superstar Mike Knox, a.k.a. Nux. You are listening to The Final Count. Keep it tuned. Hey everybody, Anthony Corelli here, formerly known as Santino Morella. You are listening to The Final Count.
This is former WWE superstar Victor, and you are listening to The Final Count.
Hi everybody, my name's Berto, and this is my service animal, Hippo, with our good friend Eric. Eric, and you're here listening and watching the Final Count podcast. Yay!
Hey, it's Eric Orris, voice of the Valley from OVW, and you're checking out the Final Count.
Citizens, this is Super Z, and you're watching the Final Count.
Welcome to the Final Count. Here is your host, Rymode Mosley, and your co-host, the 502 Ace, Brian Dixon.
What's up? That is right. It is that time again. It is the Final Count time. I had a brain slip up right there. But nonetheless, we are back. And it was about a week or so ago was the last review actually show that we had. I had a guest on by the name of, and he's also an alumni of the show here, Mr. Brandon Wolf. He is actually, you can find him over at Grindhouse Pro Wrestling. Brandon Wolf, shout out to him. It was a great show that week. This is going to be a great show as well. I'm glad to have my brother Neil back. How you doing, Neil?
I'm fantastic. How about yourself, sir?
Doing pretty good. I'm glad to be back, and happy to have you back as well.
Likewise, thank you.
Yes, and not to dial down the mood or anything, but recently in the wrestling world, we've had a couple passings with some brothers in the wrestling world, and so we just want to give our condolences to those that we've lost recently. One, Vince Steele, and there's another that I can't remember the name, but I do want to just say that we do give our condolences to the fans, family, friends, fans of both of those gentlemen who we've recently lost in this great business that we call wrestling. It's just one thing, to just make sure, that everyone knows, we're not promised tomorrow. No one's promised tomorrow. So we need to make sure that we give those that we love a hug, and never forget to tell those that you love, tell them that you love them, And so that's my, kind of speech, I guess, for the week, I guess. And again, condolences.
It's always good to take a moment and reflect and stuff like that. But yeah.
Most certainly. Well, it is wrestling time. So let's get into SmackDown from this past week. So what we got to start off with SmackDown here?
Oh my. The specifics on the other brand. What was the main event on that past Friday?
On that past Friday, oh my goodness, I'm slipping my mind right now. Let me tell you, yeah, it's slipping my mind right now.
We're terrible.
We're terrible. No. So, hold on.
I saw this past week.
Well, we're back from that little glitch right there.
Yeah, the collective brain fart. You gotta love it.
Yeah, technical issues and things like that. It's technology. It happens. So yeah, with SmackDown last week, I mean, we had a number of matches. You know, we had a big tag team match. Damian Priest and Jimmy Uso took on Drew McIntyre and Shinsuke Nakamura. Who Shinsuke, you know, is off of just the previous week had lost the United States Championship to one LA Knight.
Yeah, Nakamura is someone they haven't been utilizing very well, especially during. I mean, his reign of United States champion is like probably one of the worst in the title's history. He just never really got anywhere with it. Whenever he was in the Royal Rumble, still had the belt. He was eliminated like literally like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think WWE has kind of struggled, even though they're kind of trying to rebrand Shinsuke a little bit. But so LA Knight being the title holder now, it seems like, you know, it's going to be the obligatory multi-man match, you know, for the mid-card belt and stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of, you know, the United States Championship, something I liked seeing was Jimmy Uso coming into the picture. I think it was earlier in that night last week on the episode, and he talked about like he wants the United States Championship, and I'm like, dude, I'd love to see Jimmy Uso. I mean, you know, you got Jay going against Gunther. I need Jimmy Uso to be in a title match. I mean, just simply because Jay's, and I know that's not a really great of a reason, but hey, I need Jimmy to win some gold too.
I'm sure he will at some time. I mean, Jay's had this. Well, that's kind of a weird thing because the attitude, obviously, it's been mixed with Jay leading into his match with Gunther. But some people are acting like, you know, Jay just got pushed like out of nowhere. And it's like Jay has been pushed as a singles competitor for years. Like, if you'll think back, he was, after Roman Reigns won the Universal title and began his like 4-year reign, his first opponent was Jay Uso. Like, that was the whole beginning of the bloodline and stuff like that. So people are acting like, you know, Jay's just getting this out of nowhere. And it's like, actually, Jay has been pushed pretty hard as a singles competitor for like 4 years.
Yeah. And that's when it began, you know, like you said, that's when main event Jay Uso was born. Back when he was going against Roman.
So I think that, you know, Jimmy, his time will need to come on his own. I don't think he is quite there with Jay. Whether Jay versus Gunther was ultimately, you know, the right move, it'll be in hindsight. But yeah, I hope they bring it. Obviously, Gunther will definitely make them feel it.
Definitely, for sure. Yeah, and then the next match we had, this match ended in DQ. Braun Strowman defeated Jacob Fatu. You know, you got the Jacob Solo thing going on. People are, I've seen a lot of people saying that we're potentially going to see Jacob Fatu versus Solo at WrestleMania.
If that's going to happen, they need to get on that.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not seeing it yet,
guys.
If that's gonna happen, I'm like, where's the people seeing this? Because I'm not seeing it yet.
Yeah, exactly.
I do love the Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu. I feel like they really mesh well together. As far as two big men, two big behemoths.
I assume they'll be with LA Knight and Nakamura probably in the United States title match. I mean, I don't believe they made that official, but it seems like the direction that they're trying to push that in.
Definitely. Then we have Piper Niven with Alba Fire and Chelsea Green, the women's United States champion, defeated Zelina Vega. I have to tell you this. I love Chelsea Green. I made a post recently talking about could Chelsea Green be the JBL of the women's division? I mean, think about it. JBL had the cabinet.
Oh, yeah.
and so it's kind of similar thing. So I think Chelsea Green might possibly be. I'm not saying she is. I'm saying she might possibly be the JBL of the women's division.
Yeah, we'll give her that. Give her a few more years, but yeah, I can see the comparison.
Oh yeah. But I love this. I love her like entourage or Secret Service type of deal thing with Piper Niven and then with Alba Fire.
Yeah, she already has like Piper Niven for muscle. She needs a whole security team too on top of
that. Right. Exactly. Something else I'll tell you about this women's United States Championship. With Raw, and we'll get into this over on Raw. I feel like the Intercontinental Women's Championship the Women's Intercontinental Championship has been being seen or put on TV, put in matches, like put on the line in matches, and being put of more importance than this United States Women's Championship. What about you?
I think that you're asking if I think that the Women's Intercontinental Championship has gotten like more time and respect than Chelsea Green in the United States Championship.
Yes.
I would say that's a fair assessment. I would also say that I've always considered the United States Championship to be below the Intercontinental Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe I'm wrong about it, but in my mind, it'd be go world titles, Intercontinental, United States, 24/7 or something off that. Like to me, the United States is kind of like your light heavyweight or like the European title. They had that a while ago. But I think they could do better with both, honestly, for the exposure and stuff like that. I mean, if you look at something like what one of the greatest United States Championship runs of all time has to be John Cena. Like, I think it was like, in the mid 2010s when he was doing the John Cena Open Challenge, freaking every week, just having, people weren't crazy about Cena or the story, but he would just have good match after good match after good match, pulling people out there. So hopefully in the future, they will be able to, put some more time on it. It's the same issue with the women's tag titles. It's like, time they get ramped up, be like, oh yeah, we're really gonna push this, then it's just like they forget about it like the next day.
Exactly. And then another thing I'll say about the both titles, and whether it be men or women's, as far as United States and Intercontinental, I hope that with WrestleMania this year that they don't do the predictable thing where okay, we're gonna have the United States defended on this night and the Intercontinental Championships defended on that night. Please don't do that. Switch them up.
I think it's possible that the women's Intercontinental and the women's United States title aren't even on the WrestleMania card. It kind of wouldn't surprise me. It'd be disappointing. Like, I kind of wish they would, but I would also be like, yeah, that checks out.
True. Very true. Then we had Liv Morgan, and she defeated Jade Cargill. And of course, with the news coming out of Elimination Chamber a couple weeks ago,
did she win clean?
Do what?
Did she win clean or was it DQ? Do you know?
No, it was clean.
She beat Jade Cargill clean.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess so much for that big Jade Cargill push.
Yeah.
That seems odd, an odd thing to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Was that her first loss?
Jade, I don't know for sure.
In singles competition, you'd think it'd have to be because she's been out for so long. Like, has Jade Cargill even had a what? Like, it must have been on Raw or SmackDown. I'm trying to think. Haven't been able to fill it all in. But has Jade Cargill had singles matches?
So that's a good point. I don't think she has since she's been in WWE. So that would probably be.
And that wasn't even the main event of that show, was it?
Yeah.
So Jade Cargill's first singles match, she loses clean, and it's not even in the main event, and it's not even on a PLE. It's on a SmackDown.
On a SmackDown.
Yeah, that one's a head scratcher.
Yeah.
not what I would have done, but all right.
Right. Exactly. And with Jade Cargill, you have to. And actually, I take that back. because we have the Naomi situation. So I take it back. It wasn't clean. I don't think it was clean. It was Naomi had gotten distracted Jade rather. And so, that's the thing. I like Naomi, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm buying it yet that she's the one that attacked Jade. I still think Bianca had something to do with it.
I would like to think that too, but yeah, time will tell on that. But they better make it good. They've been stretching this out, but anytime they stretch them out this long, it's like, oh God, like, because it's,
yeah.
Anyway, on to the next one.
Yeah, exactly. They like you said, they better make it good. And they never really came out flat and said that, Jade or that Naomi was actually. I guess they kind of did, but I'm still not buying Naomi's story that she just because she did say, yeah, I did it, but I did it for you. Told Bianca that she did it for her. But I don't know if I buy that.
Well, like Rikishi did it for The Rock whenever he hit Stone Cold. I did it for The Rock.
Right. Yeah. She was basically like, I not really I did it for you, but like I did it to protect you kind of thing. But still kind of the same thing,
This is we'll talk about Raw and WrestleMania, but this is a segue. Like I've just got to say, because we had to bring that up just for a second.
Yeah.
In OVW recently, who attacked, Mick Foley and stuff with Jack Vaughn, or who did, and Dude Love was doing the investigation. I was like, I guess they resolved that, but I've just told Jack on my way out one night, I was like, if you have any sway, my God, make Rikishi, you've done it, like, or something. And the same reasons, like, I did it for The Rock. I did it for... It would have been the most meta thing to ever happen in wrestling ever.
Yeah, I agree. Oh my goodness.
Anyways.
Yep.
So going into Raw and talking about kind of the bigger WrestleMania, main event picture, one thing we haven't talked about yet that we got to get into, because in our preview 2025 show we did at the end of last year, what's John Cena going to be up to was pretty much the number one thing that we were all thinking about or interested to see. And boy, oh boy, it's something.
Yeah. Coming out of Elimination Chamber, first of all, Elimination Chamber, who saw that coming? John Cena turning heel, who saw that coming?
No one. And I was really surprised. Obviously then, once you saw, but like, since that's happened, I'm not quite sure. It's like kind of what you were saying with Naomi. It's like, I like the move. I think it's bold, but I'm not quite sure they're sticking it exactly right. I get kind of the abusive relationship thing. It's like, oh, you guys are just boo me forever. It's just like, but there are some genuine, like, kind of plot holes in this thing that I feel like need to get cleared up for it to really make sense. And that's like, Cena turned heel like after he won the Elimination Chamber match. So it's like, why kind of then, or just to sell out, like that extra, kind of motivator just wasn't there. Then there had been, I believe, legitimate reporting in the wrestling news world that the original idea was for Cody to actually go heel, and he flat out refused. And so the way this is played out, like, I think John Cena might have, like, accepted it and, decided to go with it, because I think one of them had to do it. I don't think John Cena turning heel was the initial plan. And one of the main reasons, I think, is like on Raw, when he was talking about, like, oh, you don't even get heel Cena merchandise or any new design or anything. Like, I kind of thought that was a cover because if he was going to do this whole character change, you do think kind of ahead of time they would have at least had the merch or something set up.
Yeah.
For that. And so kind of, it's on a whim. It's too late to change it. That to me kind of checks out, or looks like that could be, legitimate. it's just, where does that go? Like, does Cena not get like a redemption arc at the end? And if he does, can you really do it after that? And just yelling, I kind of, as much as I wanted to see it, I kind of was hoping that Cena would just never turn heel. Like at this point, I think it was just like kind of so far and beyond it. That's one of the things, you know, that could kind of make it. Kind of in the WWE scene too, I've noticed there's been kind of this inaccurate juxtaposition too, that John Cena has been like the longest running face, you know, or this, and he almost is. But I would say there's been one person on the roster that's been face longer than him and never heel, and that's Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio might be the only one too. I don't think if I can think another one other than that who's been wrestling for that amount of time as, you know, just one solid gimmick.
No, that's a good point. At least since he's been in WWE, there's
Mysterio's never worked heel,
to my knowledge. And I'd agree that I'd say he's the only one too. You know, with this John Cena heel turn, I believe like I can see where they would end it, and I do see him. This is early prediction here. I do see him winning the title at WrestleMania. I do see him beating Flair's record. How long do I see that lasting till? SummerSlam. I think SummerSlam, that's when Cody gets the title back, and we kind of see the redemption of John Cena after that going into the latter part of the year.
That might be a decent way to kind of pace it out. Well, my prediction, because I knew, like I said, even though I didn't know about the heel turn, my prediction was John Cena was going to win elimination. He was going to lose the Rumble, win the Elimination Chamber, and win the belt, were the three things I said would happen. And then the fourth I said is I think he might retire as champion. Now, I never had a heel through line in there. Now he's actually threatening to do that. Like, I'm taking the belt and leaving, you know. So I wasn't quite expecting in that vein. But whether he's face or heel, I think him retiring, I don't know. Because people are like, oh, well, you have to put someone over. And it's just like John Cena, he should get whatever freaking career ending he wants. If any wrestler could, you know, kind of the Undertaker got his send off, you know, with AJ Styles and that. But John Cena deserves it. So we'll see. But the motivations just really aren't clear. And one thing that has surprised me this whole time too is like The Rock hasn't been mentioned at all.
Yeah.
Because in Elimination Chamber, The Rock gave him like the signal and stuff, and Cena did it. It's just like, well, besides CM Punk being pissed off and calling, you know, Dwayne, you bald fraud, you know, on the Raw after WrestleMania or after Elimination Chamber, sorry, which was hilarious. There hasn't been a single mention of The Rock. Like, Cody hasn't asked, what did The Rock give you? What did you say? Like, I mean, I don't understand why he at least is not being brought in. And I get it. Maybe they don't know if he can be there for WrestleMania, but they have to leave it open. But it's just like, they've got to like kind of talk about that. And I think The Rock just kind of coming and going randomly as like the final boss and then just trying to make the narrative fit whatever, I don't think is going to impact them well in the long run.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like, and a lot of people, that's something else a lot of people are saying, you know, like, and speaking of a lot of people, are friends over at, one of my favorite shows to watch, podcast to watch, other than us right here at the Final Count, would be the good guys over at Busted Open Radio. And, they talked about like how there's so much meat on the bone of this storyline of this story here. You know, the explanation why what did like you said, what did The Rock give to Cena to that made him sell his soul? Why did he sell his soul? What was the point? Like, I have to think it's going to be brought up at some point. There's only a couple weeks before Mania. 21 days, something like that.
I know, and he's making an appearance. I wish that he would wrestle more. And I guess it's got to be they're nervous, bigger WrestleMania, that him like getting injured or something like that. But there was like a part of me, especially if this wasn't like a heel turn for him, if John Cena were still a face, like right now between Chamber and Mania, he should be having just any open challenge every week coming out and like being like, I have to get better in the ring. I can't like be rusty. I've got to stay like, and just have him, you know, open would have been a really good callback to his open challenges and stuff too, to where he can get back in the ring at least once a week and win some really good matches going up to WrestleMania and kind of reassert himself. You know, there would be other ways to do that, to like wrestle some matches and stuff, but I'm kind of disappointed in seeing that, like, I don't think he's going to wrestle again until the main event of WrestleMania. Yeah. And I mean, if you look at Cena's in-ring work, as far as the Royal Rumble, as far as the Elimination Chamber and some of the stuff he's done, he has not had the equivalent of like a big main event match and what that's going to take for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, like, he came into the Rumble late. He was one of the later entrants in that. And like, he's, you know, and he did some of this, and it's not like he was bad, obviously, or anything, but he hasn't physically in the ring done anything close to what he's going to need for this match to live up to what it's going to be, I think. So hopefully he's just storing it up. I don't know, but I'm glad they're trying it, heel Cena, and doing something a little new, and it's bold. But at the same time, I don't think they're quite sticking it. And the stories just about in every other department are just kind of like,
yeah. And I'd tell you what, speaking of that, you know, not to flip back to SmackDown or anything, but somewhere I do like the story that they're kind of telling there with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens.
Yeah. Okay. That's
I like the story of Randy almost got to punt Owens, but he's not got there yet. So this story around this basically is around the punt. When is he gonna? He's got to get that punt at WrestleMania. But you got to keep teasing it. You got to keep trying to tease it for me. And so I do like that, where they're going with that. And, you know, that's something I can say that they're telling a story with that. As far as Kevin Owens and Randy Orton go.
Yeah. There could definitely be a better utilization of the main event scene. I feel like, I guess I'm blind, but like WWE, especially that night one, I feel like kind of had a missed opportunity, because it's like Roman Reigns and Rollins, you know, are going to have to main event just so CM Punk could be in like a bit of WrestleMania. But they could have also done almost like a WrestleMania 30 like thing, where the first match could have been Reigns, Rollins, and Punk, and the winner of that match would join Uso and Gunther in the main event and make that like a triple threat. And like, whether you just do it with Reigns or Rollins, but that's how you shoot Punk, you know, up in there too and stuff. But we'll see. For that to be a main event, it's like, what are the stakes? I know that Paul Heyman has that favor, you know, that CM Punk has been talking about endlessly that he's going to cash in on. There aren't any stakes. So I feel like a winner of something, even if it's joining the Cena-Cody match the next night or something like that. But I feel like it's just got to be some stipulation other than, you know, just one person's going to win.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you know, and then on top of that, on top of the favor and the stipulation of what that could be, as far as what more, like, I think it has to be more than Punk wanting a main event spot at WrestleMania. I think it has to be he's going to get into a title match somewhere down the road or at some point. And you would think that would be at WrestleMania, that he would, like you said, you would think he'd be pushed into a title match somewhere, that would be the favor. Okay, Paul, pull some strings for me, put me in a title match somewhere on Mania. You would think that would be what he wants. And then another thing, I have to wonder, with Paul Heyman, who's Paul Heyman ultimately going to side with? Roman or Punk? Is it going to be who's going to be?
It seems like they're leaning to Punk. I don't know if they're going to try and make Punk heel or something goes ahead, but I don't even know if you could make CM Punk a heel like right now. Everyone's going to freaking cheer him no matter what. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, Paul Heyman backstabbing someone for another one of his guys definitely isn't out of the question.
Yeah, exactly.
But
And then
I
like,
guess Paul Heyman's, due for a backstab into someone, since he did it with Lesnar to Rhodes. It's like he hasn't stabbed anyone in the back in a good couple years. So
yeah, exactly. And then I tell you what about this? You know, he's never managed Seth Rollins. So what if we got swerved and he managed Seth Rollins? That's a possibility. I mean, there's just numerous things that could happen with that match right there.
One thing that they did announce in Wrestling WWE this week that I'm excited about, or I do think is cool going into WrestleMania, is I don't know if you heard about the Hall of Fame layout or segment, but apparently,
Yes.
they're actually inducting a match into the Hall of Fame during the ceremony. It's Bret Hart Austin. I think it's WrestleMania 13 is one that's being inducted this year. But I thought that I hadn't really even considered that. I think that will help cement. Because they have match of the year and stuff like that, paying more attention to that or bringing back, those old classic matches and putting them in the Hall of Fame and kind of recontextualizing them and stuff, I think is a really interesting and smart move.
I agree. I think it will help elevate the Hall of Fame, to an extent as well. Instead of it seeming like it's meaningless. Because I feel like a lot of people think, oh, the Hall of Fame, whoop-de-doo, it's meaningless. And something I'm glad that they're doing this year is getting away from hosting the Hall of Fame at the venue that SmackDown's at.
Right.
I'm glad they're going back to the theater type style Hall of Fame because I really enjoyed back then in the old days. I'll say when they had the theater style Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about this year's Hall of Fame for sure.
It's going to be a good one.
Yes, it is. It is. And then getting with more on SmackDown as far as women's goes, we have Charlotte Flair going into WrestleMania taking on Tiffany Stratton. What do you think about the build-up so far with this Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair?
It's okay.
Match? Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was bad or anything, but it's just Charlotte Flair, she's obviously good, but I'm kind of a little burnt. She doesn't really excite me to the level that she did, or some of the other talent that they have on the women's roster. I'm sure it'll be fine. I assume Charlotte's gonna win. I can't imagine not. But I don't know. Maybe. That'd be pretty cool for Tiffy, but I just don't, kind of see where that's going from there.
Yeah, it is kind of hard to see right now just because, honestly, I don't even feel like there really is too much of a build-up with them right now. Then that's just being brutally honest. I mean, it's not – it's really kind of been lackluster other than Charlotte coming out and talking to the crowds and whatnot and saying, how do you want me to be? Or do you want me to be a bad guy? Or do you want me to be a good guy? Or, type of thing.
Yeah.
Are you going to cheer for me? Are you going to boo me? Other than that, I'm not getting anything out of it yet. Now, as far as Raw goes, for the Raw, on Raw with the Women's World Championship, I'm loving that. I'm loving the tease of, it's going to be a triple threat women's world championship match. And then the tease of, no, it's going to be a singles match. I love the fact that Rhea signed, but then I love the fact that last week Rhea signed the contract.
Yeah, I get it. But
they turned it around. Well, that wasn't an official contract.
Yeah, I get what they're doing. I giggled and kind of rolled my eyes a little bit because it's I get the sentiment, but also at the same time, it's that's not how contracts work. So it's any wrestler that could just get a copy of the main event of WrestleMania contract and just scribble their name. It's I'm in it now. It's legally binding. It's that's not how contracts work, but okay.
Exactly. And it made for a good moment last week when she signed it. But then just like you said, knowing that's not how contracts work. And then how this week well now they're gonna have a match next week on Raw, and if you win that match, then you're gonna go to the match or something.
It would have been so much simpler and more effective had Ripley, demanded to be put in for it, and Adam Pearce could give her a match that she would have to come to be added and stuff like that. It would just be the better move because it's something that legitimately happens in the course of WrestleMania that could, and that gives, opportunity to have kind of, a road to WrestleMania style match that's on there. It's been okay, but I don't think there have been really any matches that have just kind of torn it completely down off the walls like sometimes you do in WrestleMania season, kind of building up to it.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And I don't know if that's just on their part, just maybe they're nervous about doing a lot and exerting in the season up to WrestleMania in the ring in case there is an injury or something like that. I'm not sure if that really plays into it, but it needs a little something else.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yes, it does. It does need a little something else. Let's go with this week's Raw. Let's talk about the opening match. We had Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. I took on A-Town Down Under took on the Usos as Jimmy returned to be with Jay, and how awesome was it to see them both together? But I say that, but then I'm like, I hope they don't put them back together, the Usos back together full time.
I doubt they will. I think they'll definitely tag team again, but no, I don't think they're just going to revert back into the tag team roster like they did before. I don't really see that happening.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I really hope they don't, but I do see it in the future at some point, but I hope it's not going to be like a permanent thing. But the Usos pick up the win during this match, and then it leads us to them making a match next week between Gunther and Jimmy. So Jimmy gets to fight, or Gunther gets to fight Jimmy going into the match with Jay. As far as the build up with Gunther and Jay right now, I like the pull parts that they've been having. I think we need bigger ones, as we get closer to it. I love that they're not really getting to touch each other much. We did get a couple weeks ago after the botch that happened with Jay, where he went to fly out of the ring. I don't know if everyone's seen that botch from that fly out, but over the top rope, he didn't really hit that really good at all. And then he gets back in the ring, and all of a sudden, he looks like he's going to go for it again. Then Gunther from behind gets him and chokes him out. So I'm loving so far what they're doing with the world title right now.
For who's in it and the type it is and everything else going on, I think they're probably handling it as well as they could between Jay and Gunther. We'll still see, but it's kind of straightforward from here on out. It does make me interested as to where their match will fall in the car night one, though, if they're going to open or not, because there is a pretty good chance that they might.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. And then let's talk about Chad Gable and this American Alpha, or not American Alpha, this American made
Americano.
Yeah, Americano. Yeah. There's speculation on who that could be.
Yeah, there's some speculation, right? I think it's okay. I kind of like how they started out with it a little bit. I understand some of the controversy that came, or I don't know if you've heard, but some, in the Hispanic community or the luchador community weren't crazy about it. It's interesting. I do think it is kind of funny and humorous, but they're just going to have to be delicate with how they package that, and kind of handle it, from here on out.
Definitely. You know, we see that and speaking of with their Americano, however you say it, with that we've seen at first Chad went away because he's having problems with luchadors, right?
Yeah. And then he went to go like study their secrets and all that good stuff.
Yeah, but then he comes back and he's really not fighting in really any luchadors right now.
Well, I mean, except this past Raw, he
Yeah.
did, or I guess that wasn't him. Yeah.
But I mean, why is he not having matches against Penta right now?
He fought. It was not Penta, but Dragon Lee. I think
That's
fought.
Right, Dragon Lee.
Raw. He won because he pulled the mask off of him.
Yeah.
And he had to hide, and yeah, he got in the pen like that. We'll see. I mean, how much longer they go on with it. I think that this is going to be one of those things that they've done variations of this before, and I think the fans will be ready to move on from it faster than they're willing to drop it. But we'll see.
Definitely. I mean, with Penta being there, people are saying that the Lucha Brothers his partner could be coming to WWE soon, as soon as next week's SmackDown, I believe it is.
Yeah, I believe that's what I heard too. I mean, they are on different brands, so they're not going to be on the same show. Start off, I imagine at some point, that'll have to be how it goes. But
yeah, and there was with bringing that up, there was speculation that was who Americano was at first when they had that back a couple weeks ago in the backstage segment of Chad Gable. What do you did you not see that luchador out there? So
who'd you say that was in the mask?
Huh?
Who were you saying that was in the mask with that segment with Chad?
Penta's brother.
Oh, Penta's brother, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's where I feel like that's where a lot of the speculations come from. Although I've seen there's vignettes, if that's pronouncing it right, that's been happening on SmackDown as well. Yeah. So, Raw's. I'm loving so far the overseas tour thing. I'm loving the Raw and the SmackDowns from overseas right now. I'm loving getting to watch Raw, right now in the afternoons. That's kind of weird and crazy.
Yeah, that is cool. Well, I mean, it was smart for them to do that European tour. And I mean, that's really, you see the company kind of changing a lot of their strategies. Because, I mean, normally they'd be running the country, working tons of house shows. I mean, they're not doing any house shows now. And I mean, I think they did it because they were with this whole tour, they were going to get hot crowds there all the time. I think right now, if like all the Raws and SmackDowns were going through the United States, even though like some people like it, I feel like that the fans would be roasting a lot of this stuff hardcore.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they would not be getting the overwhelmingly positive pops, from the crowd if they were running, through the U.S. right now.
I'd have to agree with that for sure. Before we jump into LVW, let's talk about Braun Breaker and the Intercontinental Championship. Where right now do we see the Intercontinental Championship as far as with WrestleMania, going into WrestleMania?
I don't think they made any announcements about it. I think it was like disqualification. Well, yeah, I think the Judgment Day got involved. I would assume similar to the United States, a multi-match. It really needs to be on the card. I am a big Braun Breaker fan. A lot of people talk him up a lot. I see it too. I mean, his agility and his speed for someone his size is insane. Like, I mean, whenever he runs, the spear around the ring and stuff, and he just has that dead sprint. I mean, that is something unique to him that hasn't been done, and just how fast he can just close space. And, he's just going to keep getting better and better. So for the love of God, please I hope that he gets to, defend it at WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
If it ends up being for like Finn or Penta or something, I mean, maybe Finn will do it, but I think I read. Oh, so sorry, late night. Like a pretty sad statistic. Like I'll have to get it exact, but I think that like for like 2 years or something, like Finn Balor right now has one of the biggest like lose to win singles ratios of any wrestler going right now. I think he's won like 2 singles matches in like the past several years. I mean, it really is insane. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe they can pull him out and get the Intercontinental belt on him, and that can do something for a while. But Finn Balor, even though he's been around and he's been a horse, like it's just been, he has had quite the fall of grace from becoming the first ever Universal Champion. Darn, he broke his arm, and then dropping that, and then bringing back the Demon character that one time for Roman Reigns to beat, I also think didn't really help him much either. Judgment Day took a while to catch on, but when he was in that, I think the Judgment Day, as much as everyone was good at it, the Judgment Day caught on because of Dominic and Rhea Ripley. That is what got that group over. And I think the rest of them got, a slice of that, but that's not, it was the two of them, Mommy, Dirty Dom, when people really started to get on the Judgment Day bandwagon. So it's like, they just like, Finn has been just in this really weird limbo, kind of unlike most other wrestlers, exactly, because but I hope they can figure that out for him soon.
Definitely. I completely agree. I like the tease of Dominic bringing in Penta into the Judgment Day too. So I think it's going to happen. No. But I like the tease of it. I think it really is teasing also that Finn's going to step away from the Judgment Day. If that does happen. And I love the teases of that. I love the teases and the splitting of Judgment Day, which we've seen a lot, here and there. But I always love to see teases of them splitting up. But I love Judgment Day too, though. So, I mean, go figure.
I mean, I don't know, like, that they might do that, but, like, WWE has really – one thing I like that they've done recently is kind of subvert expectations of that, because for a long time it was like the New Day, like Xavier Kobe, we're going to break up and stuff like that. But when kind of it came to fruition – they're still team up, and they both went heel. Kind of, you say the same thing with Gargano and Ciampa. It's like, oh, they're gonna, hate each other again, and then they both went heel, kind of simultaneously. So at least it's got me on my toes a little bit more than it normally would.
Definitely, for sure. Well, that wraps up SmackDown and Raw. Let's with the OVW now, we're gonna go ahead and we have as you see, the title of this episode is Mayhem Rhodes. Kind of play on words right there. It's March Madness, but it's WrestleMania season. They call it the Road to WrestleMania. And tonight, as you're watching this in Louisville, OVW, or if you're watching this, if you're in Louisville, if you're in the Kentuckiana area, if you're within driving distance, OVW is having March Mayhem. And so that's the play on words right there, Mayhem Rhodes. Rhodes being spelled RHODES with Cody Rhodes.
Tonight,
we're going to do some predictions while we review and talk about OVW. So here we go. If you're watching, you can see the match card that we're showing. But if you are listening, you can't see that, obviously. This March Mayhem, again, that's tonight, Saturday, March 29th, at Hot Point Davis Arena. Tickets start at $10. You can get your tickets at ovwtix.com. And we're going to be talking about March Mayhem as we go here for the rest of the episode, pretty much. This first match, it's just a kind of a thrown together match. It appears to me, Lucius Lawrence versus Ashton Adonis, who is actually going to be coming on the spotlight here pretty soon. What's your thoughts on who's going to win this match? What do you predict?
I would hope Ashton Adonis gets this one. It makes the most sense. It's going to be interesting to see, you know, what they're going to do with Luscious, with him, you know, not having the tag titles anymore, because that'll go up. But if it's just the two of them, I think Adonis, he recently has been on an upswing and stuff, and he's doing the grind, making his improvement and stuff in the ring. So that's who I would pick for that.
Same here. I'm going to go with you on that as well and pick Ashton Adonis for the win here. And then we have this next match is another one that I feel is just thrown together for whatever reason, but I digress. And I love this match, and obviously everyone knows that I'm a member of the Hush clan. So I have to go with Tony Evans. How can I not go with Tony Evans? And he's taking on Anthony Katina and Anthony Tatelli, the battle of the Anthonys too here. Who you got for this match?
I'm gonna have to go with Anthony Katina. He has made a big impact since he's come back. He is really on fire. I mean, both him and Anthony Totali have a lot of good stuff going for him now. And then Tony, his in-ring work is always good. I wish there could have been a little more build up to like this, or maybe there could be like some sort of stakes involved. But yeah, it's interesting. Hard to predict too. Yeah. I'm going for Katina. If Tony wins, or doesn't win, the big question is Jay De Niro, and if he's going to be involved at all, because they've been kind of teasing, fallout between him for a while. So if Jay De Niro is accompanying him down to ringside, that might kind of color what I think, might happen and stuff like that. But all three of those guys are good talents. They're in good shape. So the in-ring product, I feel, for this match will be solid.
Definitely. I agree. I believe this will be a pretty solid match as well. And then we go from this triple threat to another triple threat right here between the ladies. Layla Feist taking on I still cannot pronounce her name right, so I'm going to let you say her name.
Oh, great. You're going to let me say it wrong. Teddy, I think.
And then Rachel Lay.
Yeah, new blood. Leela, hopefully, I would say. I know the other one's in the Revolution, so that, might have some sort of outcome effect. But Leela Feist has been paying her dues, and she's been working hard. I think she needs a win under her belt.
I agree. I'm going to go with Leela Feist as well. And so, yeah, Leela Feist for the win here. Another match. This is a team that looks just thrown together. Like, why? But okay. We got Holta Peso and Suave, Maximo Suave, taking on the tag team of Big Zoe and TW3. Maybe we call them Dancing Zoe. I don't know what we call them.
Hey, those dance moves are nice, man. He's been working into it. I like that he's been integrating it more into the character. I think it works well for him.
Yes.
It's I'm torn on this because I love all four of these competitors, and this is probably why I'm excited for this match just to see it. But I really wish going forward OVW would at least offer some sort of package or gimmick or something to just have it make for there to be a reason. They're all four great talents, all be in tag team. TW3 has recently come back. I know that Donovan Cecil isn't heavy on the card right now, but I don't even think he's mentioned Tusk and Chains, since he's been Goddard coming back. The fact that he would just come back and just kind of team up with Zoe for just nothing is odd.
Yeah.
Hoda Peso and Suave are really on fire now, and so is Zoe and them. So I think that's going to be a match that everyone is going to enjoy, and I think everyone's going to be cheering for everyone in that one. What purpose does it serve on the card? I don't really have an answer for that, but yeah, they're all four fantastic competitors.
I agree. I'm gonna have to go with Big Zoe and TW3 right here.
Yeah, if I were to guess for the winner to predict, yes, I will second that. Zoe time, definitely.
Zoe time and dancing time. All right, dab on them. This one I'm really happy to see right here. I feel like Adam Revolver deserves this. I feel like he's needed. Adam Revolver has needed, not needed, but I mean, the man's a Triple Crown in LVW. He's held pretty much every title in LVW that there is to hold. He's even the titles that are now defunct titles. He's never held the media title. And I said this when watching the Fan Zone the other day, that Adam Revolver needs to win this match, win the Fatal 4-Way on Rise, and he needs to challenge Dustin for the title. And so I'm going with Adam Revolver right here.
I would like to see Dustin Jackson retain. I think this is maybe his only second title defense since he's gotten the belt. They haven't really been running that for a while, so I don't think his streak or his reign has meant much yet, and that's something that I would kind of like to see too. I do like Adam Revolver. The thing about this match too is it's another thing where it's kind of like face versus face. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure kind of what this does for either, and in all the respect for Adam, he is good in ring. I think he just maybe need a character repackage a little bit. I think that Adam Revolver is maybe a little too Tony Gunnish. Yeah, I don't really. It's just he's packaged really generically right now, and I think some mic time or maybe a splash of heel or something. It's just I feel like he's just missing something that's really going to take him over and makes me want to see him run with something. Put all the respect for him. I'm rooting for Dustin Jackson on that one.
All right. Hey, we love some DJ over here too, so for sure we love DJ. Then this next match, it is for the Rush Division Championship. Super Z is defending against former Rush Division champion Star Rider, member of the Revolution, Star Rider. And you have to wonder, where is Evil Z going to add into this match here?
Oh, gee, I wonder.
And I have to also wonder, who is Evil Z? I mean, I'm thinking Brian Kinnison, because for some odd reason, anytime Evil Z is around, Brian Kinnison's never anywhere to be found. Somebody needs to find out on that too.
All right, is that a work or a shoot question, Ryan? Do you actually know who it is?
I don't have a clue. I don't have the slightest clue.
Oh, Evil Z is actually it's PJ Tanner, like the lawyer that Shalonce had.
Oh, that's who that is?
Yeah, that's who that is under the outfit.
Oh, wow. I would never guess that.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. I mean, yeah, I kind of see him in the ring. At least that's what it looks like, and that's been the murmurings and stuff. Super Z and Star Rider have what's interesting between them that they have that other don't is they've really kind of been enemies, and they've had a good rivalry kind of going on, for a while and stuff like that. I think this would be a really kind of good point to put a cap in it. I'm hoping that Super Z retains and holds it still for a little bit, but that's my pick for that one. I'm interested to see where the Z and Evil Z goes, but whenever that resolves, I'd be interested to see, kind of what else that they can do with with the man under the mask.
Exactly. Same here. And you know, I think I'm gonna pick. I'm going to pick Star Rider right here. Alone out of the show, and I'm gonna have to pick Star Rider simply because I have to pick with the Revolution right now because it's Star Rider. I mean, and then this next match, I don't know how we got here, but we got here nonetheless. Not Loud and Lawless. I get that. They won the number one contender match, fatal 4-way match on Rise. How we got AJZ and Leo Fox in here, I'll never know. Um, Apparently, this match is for the tag team championships. The titles
they're really trying to make me cheer for the Revolution one time by putting friggin' Von Rocket there.
I think I'm gonna cheer for the Revolution here too, and AJZ and Leo Fox are here.
Sure.
Wait a minute! Just a few months ago, you was putting the fingers
All right.
down. Oh goodness! So we got new champs either way, right there. Apparently.
Yeah, I mean that is something. I mean, we'll have new tag team champions regardless. So let's see where they run with it.
Exactly. Then we have the women's championship match. Sophia Rose takes on the current OVW Women's Champion J-Rod. Sophia's been on pretty much of a roll right now, but J-Rod's been a dominant champion.
I've said it, and I'll keep saying it time and time again. On the OVW roster, J-Rod's the one to beat. She is not just one of the greatest talents on the roster, she's one of the best champions on the roster. She's had one of the longest title reigns, a title reign that she has defended that belt several times. Sophia's been getting, a lot of ground and getting pushed a lot, and it's been good for her. I think that's, kind of ultimately where they're wanting to end up and stuff, but it's going to be really interesting if and what, the part that J-Rod plays, if at all, once she's no longer champion, if Sophia does happen to win.
Definitely. I think I'm going to go with, I want to see J-Rod retain. I really want to see J-Rod retain. I think I'm going to go with J-Rod right here. Who are you picking for this match?
I'm going to go Sophia.
Sophia? All right.
What?
All right. And then this next match these next two matches are actually Revolution. So is Revolution Field pretty much. And it is the OVW Heavyweight Championship match. It is the man that I predicted in 2024 would become OVW Heavyweight Champion.
Cal?
I predicted in 23 that going into 24 that in 2024 he would become champion. He did not. And then if you remember, I repredicted it last year in 2024 coming into 2025 that by the end of 2025 Cal Hero would be OVW Heavyweight Champion.
Entirely possible. Not a bad guess. I'm not sure how that necessarily works if he's going to be the one to finally take it off Mount Kadim. I mean, Jesse Goddard, Mr. Spectacular. I mean, he's gone up like Luke Curtis. A lot of people have gone up against him. He is a juggernaut. If Cal is able to, overcome and stuff, that'll be interesting to see. It's going to have to be a pretty ruthless side of him, but I still think that Mount Kadim, they've really been relying on him pretty heavily and stuff with the Revolution, even though kind of being, newer to their promotion and stuff. So I think they're still going to keep it on him for a little bit.
Most definitely. Like I said, I predicted that Cal would win, so I'm going to put my money on Cal right here to become OVW Heavyweight Champion. And I have to wonder what factor might Jamin Olivencia play into this match.
Hopefully some sort of.
I would hope so. For sure. For sure. And then we have what I assume can be the main event of the evening. You just saw him last week right here on the Final Count Spotlight. Eric Surge taking on Leather Daddy Doug for the OVW National Heavyweight Championship. Let me just be honest. I'm tired of seeing Doug with the championship. Get the title off of Doug Basham.
Yes.
Please,
Like,
Eric Surge.
Damn. I can tell you kind of have the same feelings I do about it. And like everything, and don't get me wrong, like respect. Doug is definitely a veteran and stuff like that. But if this is like a promotion that is really about mentorship and passing it, it's like, I get it. Like he has the title and stuff. It stopped being cute a while ago though, because when originally he got it, it's like, okay, yeah, that's cool. Now let someone take it off of you right now, please. But yet I don't think that's going to happen. Something tells me that the Revolution will somehow get involved and Doug will somehow, I mean, it's either that or the Revolution gets obliterated in one night, which would seem, fairly anticlimactic. But we'll see. No, the belt does nothing when it's your highest prize if it's on Doug Basham.
I agree. I mean, it really doesn't do anything if it's I mean, it's something
if you
else.
have a belt like that caliber, it's like you need to at least be like delivering that product in the ring, that's consistent with someone that's going to be like that. If you're actually going to hold it through any sort of amount of time. Initially, whenever Basham won the Rumble and stuff, ended up like cashing in that night. What I was hoping, or what I thought kind of, is even before Tough Love, that, he and Dustin would end up fighting and eventually Dustin would get it and have a second belt and either like drop the mid card or have something like that. I figured they were going to get him off him a lot faster than how it's all been playing out. And again, it's not really one of those things where like they're the story, like moving it forward, they're really fostering it or anything. It's just, Doug just comes out and struts in his leather and cheats and wins. And that's tested and true, I guess.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I just want to see Doug without the title and make that, not that it doesn't mean something on Doug, but make it
like that. But I think you understand what I'm saying. Like ultimately, if you're like trying to make Doug Basham is not a superstar of tomorrow, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, make it mean something. Make it mean something. And they're always putting it on and I get it, they're always putting it on the people that have been, they either are or have been somewhere like WWE, TNA, ROH, NWA, something like that. Because I mean, think about who your champions have been, other than Cash Flow. Who have your national champions been?
Well, this is also like the creative aspect that I think if OVW focused a little more or just tweaked a little something here or there. Because like right now, like if you were to say, since a lot of what's happening with the Revolution is unresolved, like, they had the lawyer, there was apparently going to be this investigation that never happened or something. Like what I would do is somehow, I don't know, the lawyer reads in a contract or something, but like Doug as champion has like special protection to where he can't be fired now that Al Snow is back. Yeah. And so now he has to cheat constantly and come up with all these plans to keep retaining the time. It's like, if you're going to do it, have a reason for it, or like just something that you can build on with it, not just because. I think just even a slight tweak like that, where it's like, Doug is really desperate right now because the second he loses that belt, he's going to get fired. And that's also going to like increase the anticipation of fans. Like, they'll be a little more forgiving if he can sleaze his way with a little more, because whenever he finally loses it and gets that big, you're gone, that moment's going to be big because people have been waiting for it.
Exactly.
But you have to build to that moment.
Exactly, 100%. And I guess the meaning of, or the moral of this is, just make it mean something. Make your story mean something. And so yeah. But anyways, that takes care of this week's review part of the show. Before we go and pay some bills, if you've seen our social media on Facebook, on Instagram, we announced that we have breaking news. There's big news. I wonder what it could be. There is a big guest coming on for our WrestleMania week spotlight. And we're going to give you the chance to guess and make some guesses on who that guest could be for WrestleMania week. So we're going to give you some clues. You get 3 clues. Give you a clue this week, next week, and then the final week will be not on the show, but we'll get you that clue on that clue will be on social media, strictly on social media, and then we'll give you the opportunity to guess. You can make guesses now, but make your final guess that week before. So yeah, the first clue right here is Pepper. Pepper. Wonder what Pepper could have to do with this clue.
As in salt and pepper?
I don't know, salt and pepper. I mean, I like to use pepper. I like pepper. So that's if you get that hint, think about where have you heard pepper in wrestling. That might tell you who this guest is going to be. So there we go.
Clue is a clue, by golly.
Right. All right. So let's see who catches that clue right there. With that being said, let me get some music here. And we'll throw it to some plugs here. Boom, 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 boom. All right. You shop at www.shop.com using our personal link in the description of the episode below. You'll be helping us out right here at the Final Count. Not only that, you'll be helping WWE out. You can go and get your own Seth Rollins shirt, your CM Punk shirt, Roman Reigns shirt, the tribal or the OTC, the tribal chief. Go get that Yeet shirt. Get you that title belt, that replica title belt you wanted, those figures, all the good stuff. And again, use our link below. You may get a discount, but either way, you're supporting us right here at the Final Count. So we thank you and all that. And next, Neil, I'm going to let you take this one.
Head over to jccountyapp.com now to get the official Final Count hoodie for $45. T-shirts only $25.
There we go. And don't forget to check out the audio version of the podcast. You can catch it on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and on iTunes. And then I'll let you take this final one, sir.
My pleasure.
All right.
Head over to w.gg and use promo code FINALCOUNTKY to save 10% at checkout. It is your taste buds' favorite energy drink.
And there we have it. Let me cut off this music here.
True.
And that has been our show for the week. It's been great to be back. What do you think?
Yeah, it is. After a break, it is nice to come back, but back to work, back at it for a little bit. Looking forward to, the next few weeks to still look ahead to WrestleMania and stuff like that, as well as reviewing and talking about what's been going on or what's going to happen tonight at Davis Arena in March Mayhem. So more.
Definitely. And, I'll also say, speaking of WrestleMania, and we'll find out for sure on this in the coming weeks. We've already kind of talked about it, so I don't think he'll care me saying it. So I'll just say this: we may or may not have a guest on with us to do predictions. I'll just say that for WrestleMania. So the night before WrestleMania, we may or may not, or whenever we record the WrestleMania predictions, we may or may not have a guest on that episode with us. So fans, be looking out for that to see who that possibly could be. WrestleMania week, I can say this much: it's going to be an exciting week. You won't want to miss it. So with that being said, I'm Rymode, and this is my brother from another mother, Mr. Neil Allen Brewer, the GM of BullPen Pro Wrestling. And right now, as I say every week, we will see you down the road.
1,